One shift changed how I'm setting intentions for 2026. Instead of asking, what do I want? I'm asking, what can I genuinely make space for? Japan has a word for this kind of wholehearted hosting, Omotenashi. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can use it to pick intentions that actually happen. For Christmas and New Year's, Nick and I came to Japan, and our first stop was Takaragawa Onsen. It's a Ryokan, a traditional Japanese inn. Almost exactly a year ago, a friend told us about staying at a Ryokan, and I didn't think much of it, but it must have planted a seed because Japan kept showing up in little ways all year, and now I'm here at the doorway into 2026. Feeling like Japan is teaching me something powerful about making space to receive what I want to manifest. One of the challenges I've had in the past in setting New Year's intentions is that I get excited and I end up choosing too many intentions, and it can scatter my focus too much, and I can end up not making the kind of progress that I really want to be making. And so for 2026, I've decided that I really want to narrow my focus and really make sure that I can fully commit to a more limited set of intentions. And being here in Japan, observing the culture, especially this Ryokan experience, I think I've found a really beautiful solution. So I'm calling it giving my 2026 intentions the Omotenashi Treatment. So what is Omotenashi? It's a Japanese idea that basically means wholehearted hospitality. It's this way of caring for someone so thoughtfully that you're anticipating what they'll need before they even ask. It's detail-oriented, it's sincere, and it's meant to make the guest feel genuinely welcomed. So reflecting upon this Omotenashi concept sparked an idea for me. What if in 2026 we treat our intentions less like a wish that we're making and more like an honored guests that we are expecting to arrive in our reality, and that we're going to really prepare and create this loving space to receive. So let me quickly show you what I mean, because the Ryokan experience made Omotenashi very tangible. So here are a few details from that experience that really struck me. It started immediately. They picked us up from the train station and drove us about 40 minutes up into the mountains to the onsen, aka the hot springs, that we were so excited to enjoy. And then it was detail after detail. When we arrived, they set out our slippers for us to wear in the ryokan, as well as swimwear and our yukatas, the Japanese leisure suits that were so comfy and fun to wear during our time here. There were also separate slippers for the bathroom and boots, ready for walking outside to the hot springs. It was like they'd already thought through every little transition and what clothing items we would need. And breakfast and dinner were included, each meal beautifully prepared with so many ingredients and so much care. Even at night, the thoughtfulness continued. We were getting ready for bed and had this moment. So what did we discover just now?
We discovered that the floor is actually heated.
At least under these beds. And that's what Omotenashi feels like. Quiet, intentional care that makes everything easier and more comfortable for the guest. So here's what I mean by giving an intention for 2026, the Omotenashi Treatment. It's basically this idea of creating a loving, hospitable space in your life to receive what you're manifesting, so it actually feels at home with you, like it's cared for, like you've prepared for it with devotion, attention, and thoughtfulness. And here's the thing about that from a manifesting standpoint: when you're in that energy of Omotenashi, where you are like a generous host that's expecting a guest to arrive, you're in that energy of expectation. Instead of just wishing that an intention will manifest, you're expecting it to arrive and you're actively preparing for it, which shifts you from just wanting something into really being ready to receive it. So here's my simple 4-step process that I'm going to use with my intentions this year to give them the Omotenashi treatment. Step 1 is choose your main intention, aka your main guest. So instead of choosing a whole wish list of intentions for me this year, I'm going to choose one main guest to host properly in my life. And of course, by guest, I mean one main intention. For me, this is going to be my business, specifically creating an offer that I'm really proud of and feel really aligned with, and those kind of things. And so, step 1 of this process is, choosing what your main focus is going to be. It doesn't mean that you can't have more intentions, but for doing this full Omotenashi process, I would suggest, and what I'm going to do is just pick one intention to really focus on creating a space for. And then once I feel like I've done that really adequately for my main intention, for me, for my business in this case, then I would consider adding additional guests or like additional intentions to what I'm focusing upon. And then step 2 is anticipate what it needs to thrive. So for this step, I think it's about asking your intention what it really needs in order to feel at home with you, to feel really welcomed in your reality. And so this could be things like, does it need you to schedule time on your calendar to devote to it? Does it need you to make more space in some way in your life? Does it need you to show up in your life or in this area of your life in a new way? What kind of support systems does it need? Does it need you to set boundaries? All of those kind of things could be a part of what some of the needs may be that you can anticipate that this main guest, that your intention would need in order to feel really at home and welcome in your reality. And then step 3 is build your minimum weekly hosting plan. So then taking the needs that you discovered in step 2, the next really good step would be to create a kind of minimum weekly hosting plan, or things that you can do or focus upon that help the intention feel really at home and really welcome and like you're really ready to receive this special guest into your life, into your reality. So for example, this could be things like a weekly planning session, a few focused times per week where you're going to work on this, like carving the time out in your calendar on a regular basis. And then finally, step 4 is the warm welcome. Of course, being a good host isn't just about getting your space ready to receive the guest. It's also about the energy that you're in. It's an energy of giving a warm welcome of appreciation. If you were, for example, inviting a really beloved friend to come over for a visit, then in the days leading up to that visit, you might be thinking about the things that you really appreciate about that person. You would probably be anticipating and enjoying, imagining some of the fun things you were going to do together. And so, in a similar way, with the intention, we can cultivate this warm welcome energy by really enjoying the idea of it and really appreciating the aspects of it that are going to make our lives better, those kind of things. And of course, those are all kind of like traditional manifesting practices anyway, but I like how this kind of honored guest or Omotenashi filter kind of gives it a new perspective, or maybe a new sense of like realness, where if you really were having a friend come over for a visit and expecting them to arrive, how would that kind of mindset be something that you could apply to the intention that you really want to welcome into your reality in 2026. So here's a super simple way to practice this warm welcome type of energy. You could first write 3 things you already appreciate about the intention, like how it will feel, what it will change in your life, and what you're excited to experience. Next, write 3 can't wait type of moments. So little scenes of you enjoying it once it's here, like you're pre-enjoying a friend's visit, like we just talked about. And then finally, you can finish with 1 warm welcome type of sentence. For example, I love that this is unfolding. I'm ready for it. It's welcome here. So that's the 4-step Omotenashi approach. Pick the main guest, anticipate its needs, build a minimum weekly plan, and offer a warm welcome through appreciation. And my personal rule, like I mentioned earlier, for 2026 is I don't add another big intention until my main guest is truly being taken care of, until it has a rhythm and it feels really supported in my real life. Okay, so if this process resonates with you, I invite you to pause the video and go ahead and go through it quickly now. Step 1, choose your main intention for 2026 or your main guest. Number 2, step 2, for it to feel at home in your life, write down what it will need. Just the first 3 things that come to mind. And then for step 3, your minimum weekly hosting plan, choose 1 or 2 things that you know you can commit to that will help this intention feel at home in your reality. And then step 4, write down a warm welcome type of a sentence, something like, I love that this is unfolding. It's welcome here. And if you want to, go ahead and drop what your main guest or main intention is going to be for 2026 in the comments down below. I would love to hear from you. All right, so that is my Omotenashi approach for setting intentions in 2026. I hope that you found that interesting and useful. And yeah, if you decide to use this process, I would definitely love to hear about it. Drop what your main intention is going to be for 2026 in the comments down below. I would love to hear from you. And also, I just want to let you know I'm going to be sharing some more manifesting lessons that I am taking from my trip to Japan. So definitely watch out for that video in the near future. When I publish it, I will also link it up here on the screen so you can easily find it. And finally, also, if you enjoy this video, I think you will also like this next video because it's all about how to set intentions and tell if you should go more towards the big side, like a big dreamer goal, or the believable side, how to strike a balance between those two. Thank you again for joining me today, and until next time, happy manifesting.